Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Orange County Department of Education College and Career Fair. We are very excited to have you participating in this event with us. We have some fantastic schools here with us to speak to you today. My name is Clarissa, and I'll be your facilitator. Before we get started, I do have a few housekeeping items to go over with you. Your camera and microphone are turned off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. There is also a Q&A button on your screen that you can use to ask questions to our presenters at any time. And if you do have questions for a specific school, be sure to mention them within your question. This is also just one of many sessions happening, so we do encourage you to go back out to the schedule to see what might be available for the rest of the evening and over the next few days. This presentation is also being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/COSI. Now, without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to our first school, which is University of East London.
Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Caitlin Benania, and I am the International Recruitment Officer here at the University of East London. As you can tell by my accent, I am not British, I am American. I actually graduated from the university, and without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Before I discuss studying at UEL, I first want to talk about the City of London. So this quote says, "When a man is tired of London, he is tired of life." And I absolutely love this quote because I think it captures the beauty and the essence of London. I've lived in London for 4 years now, and I still haven't done everything that there is to do in London. And I just don't think there are that many places in the world that can offer you that. So I will forever love London for that reason. This is a photo of our Docklands campus. We've got 3 campuses all in London. As you can see, we are kind of set in a suburban residential area. We are also right on the river, and we are one of the only London universities that has on-campus accommodation. So our students get to wake up to that gorgeous view. We are well connected to the rest of London. We actually have a tube station right on campus. It's actually the circle that's in the photo. So that is actually a train station. So it is so easy to just get on a train and go anywhere in London. So here I've listed the reasons why I chose to study at the University of East London. The biggest reason being you can graduate in 3 years instead of 4. That is not because we take a 4-year degree and squish it into 3 years. It's because general education is not a requirement in the UK. So from day 1 of your studies, you are studying your dedicated subject only. So you don't have to take English or a math class if you don't want to. The University of East London is also one of the largest international universities in the UK. We've got 17,000 students, 20% of which are international students. We are ranked first in the UK for international support and visa advice. I already mentioned that we're one of the only London universities that offers on-campus accommodation. That's another photo of our campus right in the bottom. And we also accept FAFSA loans. So you are more than welcome to apply for federal loans, transfer them over to the UK, and use that to fund your degree. We have 6 schools within the University of East London. You can find the full list of our courses on our website. I've listed some of our biggest programs in each of the schools. Our biggest programs for American students are business management, psychology, and biomedical science. So biomedical science is essentially pre-med. This is a photo of our accommodation. So on the left-hand side, we've got a photo of what a dorm looks like at UEL versus the typical American dorm. I love to talk about accommodation because when I was a student, I lived on campus and I absolutely loved having my own room and my own bathroom. So all of our dorms on campus are private and en suite. So you get your own room and your own bathroom. You just share the kitchen and living spaces. So you will typically be sharing with between 3 and 5 other students. I won't go into what an American dorm is like because I'm sure that's self-explanatory. Here I've listed some I guess, a general overview of UEL versus studying at a typical American college. So it's free to apply to UEL, so you've literally got nothing to lose. You can apply for free on the Common App. We do rolling admission, so we aim to send you your decision between 4 and 6 weeks, although it may take longer during our busy time periods. The deadline to apply is the end of July. However, I strongly recommend applying sooner rather than later. The duration is 3 years in length. The tuition for the first year of your degree is less than $20,000 US. And this includes the cost of your textbooks. So tuition for the entire degree is less than $60,000 US. I won't go into the US points because I'm sure you are all very familiar with that. So if you have any questions at all, please feel free to take down my details. I work in the North American admissions team. If you have any questions about the application process, studying in London, what it's like being an American and moving to London, I would be more than happy to answer any of your questions. But I am going to hand things back over to my next colleague. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Up next, we have Temple University.
Okay, thank you very much. Here we go. Hello, everyone. My name is Kelly Nuibe from Temple University, Japan campus, TUJ for short. I am here live in Japan. It is about 16 hours ahead. So happy Thursday to all of you. Hope you're doing well. For those of you who don't know us, Temple University's main campus is on the East Coast in the US in Philadelphia. The second campus is in Rome, Italy, followed by our third campus in Tokyo, Japan. We are fully accredited by the Middle States Commission on Higher Education in the US. What does that mean? It means it's US accreditation, so it is possible to go to all three campuses. It is possible to start off in the US and then transfer over. It is also possible to take advantage of one of our study abroad programs around the world, or come to Japan for all 4 years and earn your US degree here in Tokyo. By the way, classes are in English, so don't worry if you don't know Japanese, you will be fine. We do have language courses to help train you. Here are some key points on why students choose TUJ specifically. The first reason is the quality education. As I mentioned, we are an American university that is fully accredited, so we are expected to hold the students to a certain standard, which is the same as our main campus in Philadelphia. And so we really do want to make sure that you are prepared. You will be given homework. That's a good thing. That's what you pay tuition for. You will be challenged and expected to think outside the box so you can apply what you're learning in the class to outside the classroom. Second reason why students choose us is the diversity we bring in. We have students from around the world, and it's quite interesting because I can have an American who grew up in Hong Kong or who grew up in the UK and actually identifies more as, you know, as a Londoner, as an example. We have students from all different parts of the world and all different backgrounds. Third reason why students choose us is our study options. This looks like a small list, but it is quite comprehensive when you compare us to other university options in Japan. We are liberal arts based, so it is possible for you to change your major later on. Some of the most popular majors are international business studies, art, international affairs, communication studies, which has a journalism and a film production track. We are a liberal arts based, as I mentioned, so the art program is earning a BA in art. We do not require an art portfolio when you apply. Fourth reason why students choose us is affordability. Tuition is about $15,000 US 1 year. That is quite affordable when you compare us to a typical public university out of state and a private university. Just to let you know, in case you're wondering, Temple University is a public university, but the Japan rate is charged $15,000. We charge the same rate for all students, regardless of your residence. We are an American university, so you can take advantage of financial aid. If I have any veteran families, there's GI Bill benefits. And of course, we have merit-based scholarships. So it depends on how well you're doing in school right now, which I know all of you are doing well. Here again are the quick shots. So if you have a smartphone, you can scan the QR code and go to the website that I'm talking about. Here is the information about using FAFSA, GI Bill benefits, and merit-based scholarships. And here's a quick list at how to apply with our application checklist, the eligibility requirements, and our deadlines. We have about 13 different deadlines. Sorry, it's confusing, but that's what I'm here. I can help you sort of navigate through that. You basically have to figure out, are you a visa seeker or a non-visa seeker? The visa seekers are the ones who do not have a Japanese passport or permanent residence to live in Japan. We will help you with obtaining your visa to live in Japan. All right, so to apply, it's like applying to any American university. We do take the Common App. If you don't want to use the Common App, you can apply directly through our institutional application. If you are a native English speaker, you may apply as test optional. Transcripts, of course, we need transcripts from every school attended, personal statement, and then the application fee. Fifth reason why students choose us is the career prep. We do an excellent job with supporting our students with everything from interview prep to resume writing, finding a part-time job, finding an internship, as well as full-time employment. And how great is it to say you have work experience in another country? If you're looking to connect with students, be sure to catch us on social media. That is our main handle across most medias, especially Instagram. That is the most active one. You get to see what students are up to here in Tokyo. And of course, you can catch us admission counselors on the virtual road. We give regular webinars. Next month, we will be talking with our students about the activities and all the fun adventures they go on in their free time. And if you have any questions, you can contact us directly, ac@tuj.temple.edu. I will also send my personal info in the chat, so you can contact me directly. Again, my name is Kelly Nuibe. I am responsible for all students coming out of your region. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Up next, we have Strathclyde, University of Strathclyde.
Hi there, I'm Shannon Hersage from the University of Strathclyde in Glasgow, Scotland. We were founded in 1796, so we're a nice old university located in the UK. We've got about 23,000 students overall from 100 different countries around the world. We've won numerous accolades over the years, including UK University of the Year in 2019. And this is the second time we've won this award. We're the only UK university to win the award twice. We are located right in the heart of the city centre of Glasgow, which is Scotland's largest city. The great thing about the city is there's loads to do and lots to explore. But at the same time, we're only about a 10-minute walk from the train and bus stations, giving you easy access to other major cities in Scotland, like Edinburgh, the capital, or just for jumping on a train to go down to London, which is about 4 hours by train. Glasgow, the city, is a large cosmopolitan city with fantastic shopping, theatre, fantastic music. We're really well known for our live music. And we hosted the Commonwealth Games and the European Championships previously, so we've got excellent sporting facilities as well. The campus itself, although being located in a big city, is actually quite contained, so you can walk around the whole thing in about 10 or 15 minutes. The student accommodation, which you're guaranteed to get as an international undergraduate student in your first year, is located right in the middle of campus, so you're really never more than a 5 or 10-minute walk to any of your classes. And again, you can just see Queen Street Station, Buchanan's bus station. These are all kind of the major public transport stations that'll take you to other parts of Scotland. Glasgow itself is very much a pedestrian city, so you'll find that actually you can walk to most things in the city very easily. We've had a huge amount of campus investment over the last several years, and we're continuing to invest lots of money in the campus. We've got a fantastic new sporting facility, which is on par with what you'd find in the US. and above par for what you'd find for a lot of UK universities. We've opened our Technology and Innovation Centre across the street from the university, working with industry and research with the university. We've got a refurbished library, and we've just opened our Learning and Teaching building, which has a brand new student union in it as well. We've had much history with the US over the years, and we currently have about 100 US students studying at various levels on the university. Strathclyde's founder, John Anderson, actually used to accompany Benjamin Franklin on his visits to Scotland. So we've had a long relationship with the US. We've got 4 different faculties, or probably colleges is what they'd be labeled back in the States: engineering, science, humanities, and social sciences, and our Strathclyde Business School. So lots of choice when it comes to undergraduate programs. In terms of engineering, we've got the largest engineering faculty of any Scottish university. And I would say US students tend to do things like mechanical engineering, international relations, and business on our campus. We've got a flexible 4-year undergraduate degree program. So just like the US, in your first and second year, you can take some elective courses, but you won't ever have to take any general education requirements like you would in the US. And then in your third and fourth year, you very much focus on a specific subject. You can apply through UCAS, so it's the kind of equivalent of the Common Application Form in the UK. And this year, as we have done in the last couple of years, we are operating flexible entry criteria. So if you haven't had an opportunity to take standardized tests, or you're opting not to, that's absolutely fine. Just get in touch. We've got an America's webpage, so you can have a look at what we're looking for in terms of GPA on that website. Glasgow is quite an affordable city as well. You'll see a lot more affordable than other UK cities. And our tuition fees are very competitive, especially in comparison to US universities. We've got lots of support services on our campus as well, fantastic careers service, disability and well-being, and of course the Strath Student Union, which allows you to always keep fit and have no excuse not to, really. That's our contact details just for our Americas team. And as I said, just check out the USA country web pages for more information about our entry criteria. Thanks very much.
Thank you for your presentation. As a reminder to our participants, if anyone has any questions for the schools you are hearing from today, definitely don't hesitate to put them in the Q&A down below. Up next, we have University of Westminster.
Hi everyone, my name is Victoria Woodward. I work at University of Westminster and we are a London university. Hope you can see my screen okay. Right, so University of Westminster, this is a little bit of information about us. We've been educating students for over 175 years at University of Westminster. We started life as the Royal Polytechnic in London and became a university in 1992. There's some facts and figures. We have approximately 20,000 students from over 150 different nations, so we are a very international university, including over 5,000 students from outside of the UK. Modern campuses, good outcomes in terms of careers, and good research going on as well. As mentioned, we're in London. You can see on the map, so London is in the southeast of England within the UK. And this is just slightly closer detail. So we have 4 campuses in London. The Marylebone campus is where you would be studying business courses or architecture. Cavendish campus, we have science and technology. Regent's campus is humanities, law, international relations, social sciences. And our Harrow campus is northwest London, 17 minutes from Baker Street on the Metropolitan line, which is the underground. And that's where we have arts and creative industries. So you can see there all of the famous areas of London and where the university campuses are in relation to those. This is our Cavendish campus, so it's science and technology. close to Regent's Park. You can see the list of the courses there on the right. So it's the sciences, engineering, computing, etc. This is our Regent campus, where we have School of Humanities, School of Social Sciences, and the Law School. Again, course list on the right there. This campus is in Regent Street, so it's very close to Oxford Circus. We have the Marylebone campus, so this is architecture, including things like tourism and transport. And then we have the business school as well, where we have lots of, so business management is probably the largest undergraduate program, but we have lots of accounting, finance, marketing, human resources as well. This is the Harrow campus. We have the School of Arts and School of Media and Communications. So this is the one that is 17 minutes. It's Northwest London. There's a train station on campus taking you directly to Baker Street, and accommodation is on the Harrow campus as well. This is where we have art and design, fashion, television, journalism, etc. We have lots of accommodation available for students at University of Westminster, so 1,770 bedrooms. Most of them are arranged in apartments, so you would normally have a single room with a bathroom in your room, and then you would share a kitchen with some other students. And you can see some examples there. The cost is approximately £175 to £270 per week, depending which accommodation you select. You can see here our entry requirements for students applying from USFA. So these are our undergraduate entry requirements. So we normally look for the high school diploma with GPA 3, including your personal statement and a letter of recommendation or a reference. And then a combination of your SATs or ACT or APs. We also have foundation routes available if you don't quite meet the year 1 requirements. These are our fees. So the undergraduate fee is £14,400 for 3 years. Most courses have an optional placement year where you could do a year of work experience during your course. And then your accommodation costs would be approximately £7,000 to £9,000 for the academic year. We are certified to provide the loans and private student loans as well. These are contact details for my colleague Jane Black, who looks after students who are applying to study with us at Westminster from USA. And you can see contact details there for Jane. I'll pop them in the chat box as well. Also links there to have a look at the courses in a bit more detail. So yeah, that's it from me. Thank you for listening. And as I said, I'll drop my details in the chat box.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I would like to make an announcement for those who are attending this session. Unfortunately, John Cabot University in Rome and University of Aberdeen in Scotland were unable to join us. They have asked us to direct any students interested in those institutions to go directly to their website to learn more, and also use their emails and contact counselor features on their websites to contact them directly with any information you might want for them. Since we do have time left in our programming, we are going to do a quick Q&A. So I have questions for our representatives to answer, and also feel free to put your own Q&A down below as well for them to answer. So let me share my screen with you all real quick. So I'm going to have our representatives answer, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? And we will go in presentation order. So I will start with University of East London.
What I would tell someone, it's actually something that I did when I was a senior. I would say if you are considering studying overseas, I wouldn't tell anyone. So when I was a senior and I was considering studying in London, I didn't tell anyone that I was considering studying in London. And looking back, I'm really glad that I did that, just because I don't think anyone was able to sway my decision.
Temple University.
Yes, thank you. For Temple University Japan campus, my advice is, when you are looking at any school, whether it's overseas or domestically, you're going to come across many different college applications, many different requirements. So it's very hard to keep track of. my recommendation is that you keep a journal and write down notes on what each school requires. Keep it, I know obviously you can look it up online and Google it, but that takes a lot of time when you're looking at 10 different applications. It's like having a messy room. Your room is messy, but everything has a place for it. So if you take your own notes, that will definitely help you navigate through the mess.
I'm from the University of Strathclyde, but there's a number of other UK universities here tonight. And so my advice would be have a look at the UCAS website. It is the application that's equivalent to the Common App in the UK. Every single UK university is on it, but it's got a great search engine that allows you to look at universities by size, by subject, by location. So it's a really great resource for starting your initial research into studying in the UK.
Hi. Yeah, so I think my advice would be to, again, do lots of research. Don't be afraid to ask lots of questions, go to lots of events, meet lots of people, and have a think about what comes after your degree as well. So what do you want to do after you finish your studies? What sort of career might you be interested in? Work back from there, which course is going to be the best one to get you there.
Thank you for all those great pieces of advice. We are going to go on to our second question, which is what's one thing you want the students to remember about your school? And again, we'll start with University of East London.
So UEL is a careers-led university. So from day one, there are several opportunities to get involved, whether through internships or placements. I'll use me for an example. So when I started my degree, I started an internship in international recruitment, and I stuck with my internship all throughout my undergraduate. And let's just say when I graduated college, I did not have to worry about finding a job because I already had a job.
For Temple University Japan campus, I hope you'll remember we are in Japan, but we are an American option, so it is possible to hop around and take advantage of study abroad programs. Our Japan campus is one of the very few where you can earn a bachelor's, master's, and PhD. And also Japan may seem far, but it's not that far from California. It's like 3 to 4 movies long. If you think of it that way, very easy trip for you.
The thing I would remember about Strathclyde is it's right in the heart of a fantastic UK city. Glasgow could not be a more welcoming city. It's a place where you might not be from, might not have been before, but you will certainly feel very welcome and feel at home very quickly.
And I think the thing one of the things to remember at Westminster would also be location. So Westminster is in the very heart of London. We're in Zone 1, Central London. So that gives you lots of access to opportunities, to careers, engagement, to employers, internships and jobs and all of those areas.
Thank you for those very interesting pieces of information. We do have one final question. So if any students or parents in this session have questions for the institutions, definitely put those in the Q&A before we end our session. But the next question is, what is one myth you would like to debunk on the college admissions process? And we'll go back to University of East London.
One thing I would say, especially for overseas schools, is everyone thinks it's going to be so hard to apply to an overseas school, when in reality, it's not hard at all. I would say the only difference is you're going to have to apply for a visa, and it's not really that hard to apply for a visa. So don't be overwhelmed at the thought of applying.
I would say the one, what's the way to word this? So sometimes when I help students, they tell me their grandma told them to go to a different university in Japan because it's the top university in Japan. And, you know, that's fine. If that's their choice, I respect it. But I do want to point out that, yes, that school might be the top one. But if you look at Temple University's rankings, we are actually higher than that when you compare us to the rest of the world. And the reason why I bring that up is because you really shouldn't be looking at the rankings as much as more, is this school going to be a good fit for you? Does it have the location you're looking for? Does it have the activities you're looking for? Does it have the subjects you're looking for? And will it support you in the way you think it will fit you best?
I would say for applying to UK universities, there's probably the impression that it's quite similar to applying to US universities. And I would say the big difference is that the emphasis for UK universities is on your academic performance. They're looking at very much at how you performed either in your standardized tests or in the classroom with your GPA. There's far less of an emphasis on extracurricular activity. So certainly when you're doing your personal statement and highlighting yourself, concentrate on your academics and show UK universities how you shine through your academics.
I would say that it's never too early to start preparing your application. So applications are open now through UCAS in the UK. And you don't need to have everything completely ready at the moment. So if your qualifications are still pending from one of your exams or you're still waiting for your final results, you can still go ahead and you would be made conditional offers by the majority of universities.
Thank you everyone for sharing those pieces of advice. We have come to the end of our programming, so thank you to everyone who were able to join us this evening. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 5-question survey. We would appreciate any feedback you provide to us. We also encourage you to go back and check the schedule. There are more sessions available today as well as over the next few days, so there might be more things you are interested in. And as I mentioned earlier on, the session was recorded. It will be available with all the other recordings at strivescan.com/COSI. Again, thank you for joining us and have a great evening.